ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Sideline Junkie Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. As the sumo, I don't know what in the world you got going on over there right now. Dropping stuff. You all right, man? Actually, wait, it's February. It's
Yes,
February.
it is. Yes,
Oh
it
my.
is.
Oh my.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is February the 5th. So you know what that means for me. That means my liquor and cigar fast is over. And I'm about to share with y'all my very first cigar of 2022.
Mm.
And I've had this bad boy sitting in my humidor for over a year.
Ooh.
And this one is special.
And what it's supposed to taste like?
So if you'll excuse me while I kiss the sky for a minute.
Well, take a puff and tell us what it's supposed to taste like for the benefit of those that aren't, lifetime drinkers and smokers.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing better than puffing on a great cigar on a clean palate. It's just euphoric. Now, this is the Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua,
Oh my.
which was one of the top five cigars, if not the top cigar for 2020. Okay?
Okay.
Mild to medium in strength, very flavorful. I'm not gonna go into any kind of flavor notes or nothing because I don't really do that, but it is a very flavorful cigar. I mean, flavorful as far as natural tobacco taste. I'm not, like I said, I'm not gonna get any coconut flavors or cherry after notes or woody flavors or nothing like that. I'm not going into that type of thing because that's not me.
At least
But
y'all free.
this is an excellent cigar. If you're able to find any, you need to try to do that.
No, it's hard to see the label.
Uh,
What's the brand? What's the brand? Not that we get paid
it's
for it.
called Aging Room. The
Okay.
brand is Aging Room.
All right. So that's one half of the deal. And notice we're giving you a little extra push tonight. So that's one half of the deal since you're celebrating. What's the other half? You told us what you smoking, what you drinking.
Well, tonight I pulled something that I haven't had in a while.
Blood oath.
The Blood Oath Pack 6.
Is that 100 proof?
This is a, hold on a second.
I want to make sure it's going to be a good show.
No, it's a 90 proof.
Okay.
It's a 90 proof. This is a blend of five different bourbons that was finished for 18 months in a cognac barrel.
Okay.
There were only 10,000 of these made. There were only 10,000 Blood Oath packs made every year. The pack 8 will be coming out in May. So you can be on the lookout for that. I'm not sure. We haven't been told. They haven't released as to what kind of barrel that will be finished in. But if it's anything like the first 7, it's great.
Well, and that's just Nubian smoking and drinking segment. We're also joined via audio, the big guy KG. KG, go ahead and greet the folks as you're out there putting that work in at the moment.
Yeah, I'm out here getting it in. Everybody say, what about the homies? Big guy KG don't do shit for the homies. I repeat, shit for the homies. Unless the homie want to get out there and walk this stroll, don't do shit for the homie.
So obviously he's already on his 150 proof. So since he's live and in living color, it's only right that we continue with our favorite segment to date. Somebody's got some beef. right, KG. Part 2, stemming off of the Royal Rumble. You wanted your platform, you wanted your time, and obviously you're live and in living color. So it's your time to shine, my friend. What you mad about?
Well, word on the street is Shane McMahon has been let go from WWE because of heat backstage. Said heat was due to him being the head writer, producer of the Royal Rumble itself. And a lot of superstars came to him and expressed grievances and things like that because he wanted to give himself a bigger theme in the Royal Rumble. Here's my thing. I don't give a damn if Shane McMahon booked himself to win the Royal Rumble. You allow it to happen.
He tried. Go ahead.
He should have. I would have preferred him to win it than Brock Lesnar. I don't know. I don't care if it's Vince, if it's Stephanie, if it's Linda, if it's Triple H. I don't give 2 drops of monkey piss. Who the hell's decision it was? Dick Khan, Amir Khan, Shao Khan? I don't give a damn. You don't let
Khan.
Probably.
Yeah. You don't let one Shane McMahon, born in Gaithersburg, Maryland, go over creative differences over a company that he helped build. He helped foster in that attitude era, which made WWE win the Monday Night Wars. Don't you ever, in your natural born life, think that you can let Shane O'Mac go. Whether he wanted to win the Royal Rumble, wanted a bigger role, I don't care. It would have made the Royal Rumble a lot bigger and less predictable than what it was. So if you have a problem with Shane O'Mac, and I've already said, I'm walking away from WWE. You just gave me more ammunition to go. My bag's already packed. Now I got my plane ticket. I'm headed out the door. I can't do it no more. I can't. You took Triple H off of NXT, which was budding, which was great. You ended everything that he was trying to do. Now you letting Shane O'Mac go? I'm done, man. I'm done. This is a sinking ship, and I'm ready to get off. I'm ready to get off. I can't deal with it anymore.
Okay, well let's try to get some clarity on this. Okay, first of all, did they let? Well, let me ask this question because you might answer the question. Did they let Shane go completely from WWE, or did they let Shane go as far as his role in Elimination Chamber and WrestleMania? Because the man's got like maybe the second or most amount of stake in the company, so they can't let him completely go. I don't think. So are they just letting him go of responsibility, or they letting him go altogether?
Well, you got to remember you're dealing with 2 things, and Perry hit the nail on the head with his comment that I'm posting and showing now, that he's gone as a talent. When you talk about...
Oh, and by the way, happy belated birthday, Perry.
Yeah, happy belated, my friend. So
happy belated birthday, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
We talk about anybody in a McMahon situation is twofold. They are on-air talent under a separate contract, and then they are majority shareholders. So Shane has gone nowhere in reference to the business side of it. He is one of 4, I guess if you count Triple H, 5 majority shareholders. And I'm quite sure they're funneling some of them shares down to those kids in reference to gifts and stuff like that, just to make sure that McMahon is always going to be at the head of the board. But then you also have the talent side of it, which they can fire and rehire and suspend and do whatever they want to do with Shane McMahon, the talent. He's already shown that it doesn't matter, because I can leave, come back. But even if you let me go, guess what? As I mentioned last week, I'm going to get residuals as a talent from the merchandise sales, because he did come out with that new Shane McMahon Royal Rumble jersey. So he's going to get paid from that no matter what. So, yeah, you're right, Perry. He's been working for another company just to get, his portfolio. and his business dealings and stuff like that. So he doesn't have to be 100% limelight as a talent, but being deeply rooted into the core and the meta of the WWE, he's not going anywhere. He's always going to be there. He's still heir to the throne. So part of it, as we talked about between us, maybe he was just trying to see, as a pissing contest to see what he could get away with. To pwmania.com, they did a little write up on it. They were saying that it's been heavily allegedly, because nothing's been confirmed by a particular person or they didn't name names, that he's been pitching ideas and creative behind his back, laughing at him for years. So this isn't the first time that allegedly has tried to come and strong arm his way into getting what he wanted. Now I agree with that. Nick Khan is not going to be the heir unless they sell that company. There's always going to be a McMahon at the height and the head of the table, pun intended for Roman Reigns, on the board of directors. Nick Khan is just still an employee. He can be fired, just like Roger Goodell can be whacked from the NFL. He's not the guy. There's going to be a McMahon at that table, period. Because, big business, Vince is crazy, but he ain't stupid. There's going to be a McMahon based off of who has the most shares. And doesn't matter if it's the Rock's conglomerate group or anybody else. They're not going to buy majority shares to overthrow McMahon's. And like I said, I think they're funneling, because that's something I would do, funneling shares down as gifts and stuff like that for Christmas or whatever, to the girls on Stephanie's side and the boys to Shane's side. So they're securing the company from that perspective. Even if they don't own it, they can still make decisions. But going back to the Shane story, he didn't get everything that he wanted, a la potentially winning the Royal Rumble, but he did get one thing that he wanted, and that was the people that was around him when he came out, Otis, Kevin Owens, and a couple other people, in the ring at that point. And the only person that he was looking to get over and didn't mind getting over, let me put it that way, was Brock Lesnar. The heavy rumor is that the issue that he has was not so much with the finish of the Rumble. He was kind of, it is what it is, but it was the Elimination Chamber portion of it, because he wasn't happy with him per Vince's direction, allegedly wanting to be booked or pushed into the Elimination Chamber. That's not where he wanted to go, and that's where things started to have an issue. But then again, we got to think about who's in Vince's ear. Bruce Pritchard, John Laurinaitis. So if they've got beef with Shane, I mean, family's family, business is business. But, if they talking about, hey, kid, we don't like what you're thinking, and then they go tell Daddy Vince, kid's going crazy again, then who knows? But this Shane O'Mac.
Well, allegedly, he was Brock wasn't supposed to be the original winner of the Rumble.
Right.
It was supposed to be Riddle.
Yeah. But that also, I don't agree with that. I mean, no disrespect to Riddle, but Riddle versus Roman or Riddle versus whoever is going to be on Raw. If it's still Bobby Lashley, if it's Brock Lesnar, it's a toss-up based off of the Elimination Chamber. I just can't. I wouldn't be invested in that. Even if you told me the Riddle backstory and told me about how and show video or whatever, him recovering from the frostbite on his feet and all that other stuff. He's not, to me, he's not there yet. RK Bro has shown his range, but I wouldn't mind a Riddle heel turn, and then, just to give some more depth before we thrust him into the main event. That's just me. I mean, you tell me, gentlemen, would you book Riddle in the main event of night 1 or 2 of Mania?
No, sir.
I would against Lashley.
Really?
I would against Lashley, because remember, I wouldn't make it a squash either, because remember, Riddle got some MMA skills too.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so just like you were talking about Brock versus Lashley being the MMA thriller that it was supposed to be, you could have one between Riddle and Lashley as well. So Yeah, I would have been interested in seeing that, not necessarily as a main event,
Yeah,
but
but
I
that's
would have
out of
been
the
interested
Rumble.
in seeing it.
That's out of the Rumble.
Now,
You have to be the main event.
no. I would have liked to seen that in like Elimination Chamber. It could have been a
Right.
main event for Elimination Chamber, but not necessarily for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Now,
I agree. It's just
it
a
would have
chance
been
just to
for
get
he would have
Riddle.
gotten the shot at WrestleMania, but
I would
I
put
would still say put him in Elimination Chamber. Have them have a match for Elimination Chamber to set up for the rematch at WrestleMania.
I would give him the IC title. I'll be more interested in him versus Orton for the IC. No disrespect to the US, but the Intercontinental Championship would be the better look. That's what I would want to see you know to put a button on that chapter to free him up to start building towards a Roman or Bobby Lashley. Because on the
Yeah,
microphone,
but that'd be taking a long scenic route because he would have to leave
he
Raw to
will
go to
keep doing.
SmackDown, wrestle
Well, no,
Shinsuke,
we got the draft coming.
wrestle Shinsuke, but he
We got
still
the
has to
draft
go.
coming.
Well, he still has to go through Shinsuke to get to get the IC belt.
Yeah, I'm not saying it has to happen immediately, but I mean that's the direction that I would book him at, so that way I would get tired of Bro and all the stuff that is comedic Riddle as a champion.
Because whether he won or not, actually whether he wouldn't, they wouldn't have given it to him anyway. It would. I wouldn't put him in a squash match like KG was saying, but he wouldn't have won the title anyway. So I mean,
Yeah, but why waste that slot? This is WrestleMania. We're talking Hollywood level video packages, like we saw at the Rumble for Bobby versus Brock, but bigger. Even with
but
that, I
again,
wouldn't.
you're building. But again, you're building it up. I mean, that's the whole thing
Yeah,
about the
but you build it
WWE.
up.
They make you believe in who they want to put in that spot. So
If
they
they
build
have
it
the
up to the
time,
point where they make it make sense to
if they
have
have
him
the
in that
time, James,
spot.
if they have the time, that's my only thing. I don't think they have time, but thankfully we don't have to worry about that. But I mean, Riddle is good where he is. I think the feud between Riddle and Orton versus the Alpha Academy is great for Riddle. Randy doesn't need to push in that direction. He's just the straight man and playing a great straight man role. This is giving Otis purpose and really giving somebody who I thought they were going to release, Chad Gable, the opportunity to show another level of himself. And he's basically carved his own version of Kurt Angle into a way that is just him. And I really appreciate it. I'm starting to enjoy him. I don't really care for all the gimmicks, but just give him the mic and let him talk. So thank you. That part right there gets me every time. So that's that. But Katie, you're still supposed to have beef because it's round two. So we have to know what you're feeling versus or about Lashley and Brock in the Elimination Chamber. Because we know he was mad about the finish of the Rumble. And
Oh,
Roman
and
versus Goldberg.
I was right, by the way.
I was going to get there. I was
right. Yeah, I was right, by the way. I said
there.
that it was going to happen.
Sometimes, look, man, I know you old, but sometimes I gave KG his flowers last week. I was going to be nice to give you yours. God, you ruined everything.
Yeah, I was making sure I got mine because yours smell like doo 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 doo.
Of course.
But let me throw this out there before I got to jump. Lashley versus Brock at Elimination Chamber. If it ain't MMA octagon style, it's a waste of fucking space.
Well, no,
I'm sorry.
They're in the chamber.
No. Don't like it. I like that about as much as I like the Washington Commanders. That's how much I like that.
We really don't like that.
Did they show a logo?
Yeah, it's a W.
But they have the new song. They show the new logo. But have you heard the new song?
We are Commander. Bum, 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 bum.
There's a video on YouTube where a dude is out in front of the stadium talking about Yeah, this is our new theme song. We are commanders. Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's the reigning captain. I'm not even gonna get into that, man. I'm not gonna get into that at all.
KG, was that even an option? Like, I thought the fans had the opportunity to vote for that.
Well, we thought we all had an opportunity to vote, but they picked commanders 18 months ago. They secured the copyrights to it 18 months ago.
Right.
Was that one of the ones that old dude had? Because he had about 5 of the ones that y'all were looking at, and he was trying to highball y'all.
Right. I want to say it was, but it may not have been. But I know everybody wanted Red Wolves or Red Tails.
Red Tails.
They said they didn't want to do Red Wolves because Minnesota Timberwolves wouldn't come up off the copyright and it was going to cost too much money and too much red tape. I don't know what Timberwolves and Red Wolves got to do with each other, but whatever.
Well, we knew they weren't going to do the Red Tails because that was too black.
Yeah. Yeah.
That had black history behind it, so we would do it. They weren't going to do that. That was all the Go-Go's.
It is chocolate.
I would have bought y'all's merchandise if y'all have went with Watch the Go-Go's. I'd have bought me some Watch the Go-Go shit.
Man.
You know, it's already a team called the Go-Go.
That'd have been a lot of rainbows, James. That'd have been a lot of rainbows on that.
Go-Go.
Right, I know.
So, I mean, but I don't like it at Elimination Chamber because I was already cheated at Royal Rumble. I don't want to be cheated again.
Well, okay. So we know you're not happy with, even with Seth Rollins in the Elimination Chamber. Like everybody else is supporting staff. Either Bobby Lashley or Brock Lesnar is coming out of the EC with the championship. And it all depends right now on Vince McMahon. It's heavily rumored that he is.
How about this? How about we put Triple H in it and make it worthwhile and let Triple H be the champion?
Health-wise, he can't. It's hard. He can't do it. Cannot do it. He's done. He just has to. He may go into the Hall of Fame this year and go into the Legends wing. That's
okay. Let me ask you this. How many Hall of Famers have come back and won a world championship?
Well, Goldberg again, probably.
No, you need
well, shit. Never mind. It's already been done. Okay, it's passe.
None that have had a heart issue. She wouldn't even know if he could take a bump.
That's true.
I wish and I hope he could.
I get it,
but he's unfortunately not going to be the guy. But yeah, so it's heavily rumored that Vince is really thinking about this title versus title unification. Really thinking. That doesn't mean that he may not change his mind and let it go the other way. But the end result of the Elimination Chamber is going to say whether or not Vince McMahon is going to go title versus title. Period.
As I've been saying for all this time.
Oops, that was too quick. Yep. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen.
I gotta get on this grind.
All right, you go ahead and make it happen, man. Do your thing.
Y'all have a good show. I'll be checking back in.
No problem. KG will be definitely nothing else available tomorrow for the Sunday Rise. But yeah,
I'll be up early to do that because I got some things to get off my chest.
Oh Lord, make sure.
All right, bro.
Your beef thing is universal. Make sure you hit it.
I will. All right.
All right, dude. We'll see you. So the other side of the coin, I guess you can answer this part since KG had to step away and earn them coins. Roman versus Goldberg. This is Goldberg's last contractual match. So, of course, it's going to be at the biggest payday of the year, which is not WrestleMania. It's any time to go to Saudi Arabia. So, Roman's last potential match ever, or in the WWE, who knows? He may go to AEW and do a match. Wouldn't be surprised. But what's your thoughts?
Just get him out the way. Get him out the way. Just go ahead and take this quick squash it, and get him out the way. Because I mean, look at the card for Elimination Chamber right now. Just take a look at it. And I'm sure we're gonna be going over some of this stuff in a minute, but over the course of the show. But just take a look at this card so far. Universal Championship, World Championship, Women's Championship Raw, Women's Championship SmackDown. Should be total squash matches for the most part. Yeah. Nothing's gonna change. It's just gonna be something that's gonna solidify WrestleMania so they can start these storylines and build up to those matches.
Yep, because WrestleMania has been booked for the last 3 months.
Right. So this is just something. This is just something to get. This match between Roman and Goldberg is just something to get him out of the way. You know, because Roman should smash and get out of there. There should be nothing good. There's nothing coming of this at all. It should be a non-factor.
So you say if Roman gonna smash, it'll be like, should I call you a cab?
Right. You still here?
Yeah. Towel's over there.
Yeah, exactly. No. Don't even give him a towel. Give him a wet nap.
Oh no.
You know, give him a wet. No. Give him one of them wet. Give him one of them big wet ones and shit. Just bye. Yeah. Wipe it off. Get out.
We don't really mean that stuff. If there's any ladies watching, or maybe James do that stuff. You know, he don't want no kids.
No comment.
So speaking of, I guess that's really interesting segue into this situation of are we at the precipice? Me Too was Me Too. I consider that a separate thing. But are we at the precipice with this Brian Kent situation of them bringing up some of the abuse they've done over 10 years ago, and I'll touch on what that content is in a second, of cancel culture starting to really hit sports entertainment and wrestling? Because even the Velveteen Dream thing was under the Me Too umbrella, I guess, or Speak Out. So I'm finding Speak Out and Me Too.
Yeah.
But this one has nothing, to the best of my recollection, and I'm gonna look at it now, any sexual connotation. It was about the Holocaust, which he, made mention of, which we know, as we saw with Whoopi Goldberg. Can't touch that one. 11, which he believed was privy under the auspices of the Illuminati. Michael Jackson staged his own death. So he kind of went off the rails on some interviews and some of his thoughts 10 years ago. And that has cost him potentially his spot in AEW. So cancel culture and sports entertainment, I mean, are we there? Or is it just a one-off? Is he just low-hanging fruit that they could just knock him out the way just to prove the internet's power?
Well, I mean, you see it's been happening a lot lately, like you said. It's been happening in politics. It's been happening in entertainment. I mean, once it's on the internet, it never leaves. So you got to be careful what you're putting on the internet. I mean, folks are using the internet now in job interviews and whatnot. Pulling up your Facebook and your Instagram to see what you've been doing on there to, see if there's anything that they need to look up or be aware of. So, I mean, you got to be careful what you put out there. I mean, it's happened a lot as far as Tessa Blanchard and Charlotte Flair and a whole bunch of different ones. It's been happening. So, I mean, you just got to. I mean, it's out there for them to look up. So you just got to be careful as to what you're putting out there.
Yeah, but I mean, it's kind of. I mean, if we're talking 10 years ago, and it's his opinion. If he's what do you call him, a conspiracy theorist? That's his thought, but he's not harming anybody with his thought per se. It was an interview, and he just gave his opinion what he thought.
Whoopi gave her opinion.
Huh?
Whoopi gave her opinion.
that's a whole other story. But Whoopi's also Jewish.
No, no, not really. Not really, because hey, a conspiracy theorist could say that
Yeah,
Whoopi Goldberg said this on purpose to get publicity because the musical version of The Color Purple is about to come out, and she wants to help promote it.
true that.
Now, that's not my view, but but we're talking about conspiracy theorists.
I can't knock it. That's
You know what I'm saying?
you made
So
a
I
connection
mean,
from point A to
yes, it is
point
her. It
B
is her opinion. That's the way that she thinks. She got backlash for it.
on a show
She
that's built
got
on opinion.
suspended for it. So I mean, same thing with Brian Kendrick. I mean, but he doesn't have the stroke, like you said. He doesn't have the stroke Whoopi has. He doesn't have the popularity that Whoopi has. I mean, yeah, he was a mainstay in the cruiserweight division as far as him helping to build up that high flying style or whatnot. With him, especially him in that tag team that he had back in the day. Him and what
Was it
was his
Matt
name?
Sydal, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Seidel. It was damn. I just had his name on my mind.
What was the name of the team?
They didn't have a team name. It was just their names. He was going by Spanky, but then there was
Yeah.
the other dude.
They faced the Hardys and stuff like that.
Come on, Perry. I know you know Perry. Come on.
I really bring. Let me look. Let me look that up. Yeah, that's like it's right there at the tip of the brain, which is annoying.
Because I see his face, and I know he was on
I know it's bad
Impact
when I
for a
see it.
while.
It's coming. Hold on.
But yeah, going
Paul
back
London.
to
Paul
Paul
London.
London, yeah, Paul London, yeah. But those two, they were a sensational tag team and helped build up that newer style of high flyers and light heavyweights, cruiserweights, whatever you want to call it. So I mean, yeah, but he had lost a lot of luster coming out of WWE, and he was about to try to do something with AEW and try to build himself up again. So
Well,
I don't know.
WWE lost his lust. They buried him after he did all that work for 205 Live. He put 205 Live on his back because remember they had TJ Perkins. They just pulled people from the Cruiserweight Classic and said, okay, we're just going to create a show. But it was nobody to really galvanize and solidify it until they said, all right, we're going to bring Brian Kendrick in. And then he started on his program with TJP was phenomenal. And, he started being that guy until, they started working other people in there. And it became something. And then it got convoluted.
Go ahead and say it. Give him his props. Give him his props. Give him his
So,
props. Go ahead and say it. I know you don't want to say it, but go ahead and say it.
no, you go ahead. I ain't say nothing. I refuse.
205 Live didn't get their props until Enzo Amore got the Cruiserweight Championship. Come on now, go ahead and say it. Because I didn't watch 205 Live until Enzo Amore got that belt. I'm telling you, I didn't. And as soon as they got rid of him, I stopped watching.
I don't get any flack because cancel culture. Enzo has his moments too, which thankfully it's not really bothering him, and him and Big Cass are able to do what they need to do. But yeah, that was
Hey, he's
interesting.
a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
And Liv Morgan may say something different. So it's not funny, but I'm just
How
saying.
you doing?
Yeah, I'm just saying. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know. I haven't heard if Tony Khan has said, "Hey, we're done," because he kind of pivoted immediately to making a big announcement, which you'll be covering next week with That's Just Nubian. The reaction to whoever this Forbidden Door new superstar is that's going to be coming and just debuting on Dynamite to become All Elite. But then Tony Khan today also said that right after that, the door will close, which is the first time he's ever talked about a closing of the Forbidden Door. So that's going to be interesting.
Well, he's getting all this flack about bringing all these people in. What is he going to do with them all?
Well,
I mean, look at what he did with Jay Lethal. Of all the people to not use, to misuse, of all the people, Jay Lethal.
No disrespect to Ricky Starks, because that was a phenomenal match. But Jay Lethal should be the FTW champion. Consider that there was no, interference of that level. That's Jay Lethal got knocked out by, the FTW championship belt while the ref was unconscious or something like that. That wasn't the.
But not even that. I ain't even talking about that. I'm not even talking about that. Okay, they didn't give Jay Lethal that belt. Fine, I'm good with that. I'm talking about how they've been using him since he came in.
Oh yeah,
he comes in. That's what I'm about to get to it. They bring him in. Okay. What first thing they do? What do? They make him Leo Rush's replacement with Dante Martin.
Mm-hmm.
They get rid of Leo Rush, and they make Jay Lethal his new brother. Okay. So then, they put him together. Then what they do? They put him on Dark. They stick him on Dark.
Freaking Jay
Lethal. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, they're gonna put him on Dynamite and be like, "Hey, I see that you got a belt, and
did a couple run-ins to help out.
Yeah, to help out Dante. That's what I'm saying. He was Dante's little big brother or whatever. That was what he was relegated to. But he wasn't wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't in the ring. He was doing 4 and 5 minute matches on Dark
for no reason.
And then with nobodies. And then they bring him on talking about, since that belt means so much to you, nobody else wants it. I'll take it from you. And then they give them about a good 20 minutes to build up Ricky Starks.
Yep, for a belt that they're not recognizing as something that's worth being sought after. No disrespect to the FTW, but it's not like it's factored into the rankings to become the champion.
Right.
The TNT belt, which he really should be going after to take off of Sammy Guevara, or the World Championship. But I'll be okay with this if they're in a holding pattern for when Kenny Omega comes back, becomes champion, and Jay Lethal is the first challenger. If we're just on a hold for that,
he's not going to be around that long. Kenny's not going to be back before April, and they're starting back Ring of Honor back in April, and I'm sure Jay Lethal will be one of the first people they bring back.
Yeah, I mean, he can do both. He can do dual roles.
No, because he's talking about closing the Forbidden Door. Remember, Jay's not necessarily signed with them unless it's and if he does have a contract, I'm pretty sure it goes up to when Ring of Honor starts back.
We'll see, but
so I don't see him going up against unless Kenny comes to Ring of Honor. That's not happening. That match is not happening.
If that's the case, then that's Tony Khan's biggest F up to date.
Yeah, I was never expecting Jay Lethal to go to AEW. He'd have been lost in there. I was expecting him to go to Impact.
Impact, yeah.
I was expecting him to go to Impact and maybe be part of this Honor No More scenario they got going on.
Yeah.
Because now, for those that don't watch Impact, you got Matt Taven, Michael Bennett, Maria Kanellis Bennett, his wife, Mike Bennett's wife,
mm-hmm.
PCO, and Vincent from the Righteous group faction that he started. They're calling themselves a faction called Honor No More, which were all Ring of Honor wrestlers who are saying that they lived up to the code of honor and it didn't get them anywhere. So now they have honor no more, and they're going to try to take over Impact.
Right.
And so they've gone there and they've done some run-ins, they beat up some people, and now Kenny King has recently joined them as of Thursday. So Kenny King is back in Impact Wrestling, which is interesting because when Kenny King was the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champion with Rhett Titus, he wound up letting his contract end and did a handshake deal on like a 10-day agreement so they could get the belt off of him. And then he wound up signing with Impact and leaving them high and dry with having to vacate the championship.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just funny how things go into circles like this in the world of professional wrestling. But now you got Kenny King in, and now they're gonna have a 5-way. They're gonna have a 10-man tag team match with Honor No More against 5 members of the Impact roster, and I believe it's Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, Josh Alexander, Rhino, and Chris Sabin. So that's supposed to happen at the next pay-per-view, which is I think next Saturday. So and plus you got Jonathan Gresham, who's on Impact Television defending the World Championship there. He could have gotten back into a tag team with Jonathan Gresham or been Jonathan Gresham's heater.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a waste of time for him to be in AEW.
Now,
He could have went to PWG and been in the Battle of Los Angeles and spent his time better.
I'm just hoping that there's a long game, because if not, and they let him go, I think he may get a call, and it may be a nice large chunk of change that if you're just going to waste time in a promotion, he may end up walking through and showing up the Monday after WrestleMania or something.
I swear, I hope that don't happen. I do not want. I do not want Jay Lethal in the WWE, but
just to waste time. Short term, it could be a one-time appearance deal or something like that. Just because, take the check, do the job, move on.
And God forbid, go to NXT. Give me a reason to turn NXT back on.
Oh no!
Give me a reason.
Give me more of that paint. I tried the other day.
Because I'm telling you, I have not seen an episode of NXT since I told you I cut them off. I have not seen one episode.
I finally
none.
What Randy Orton was saying when he had that match with the Fiend and the All Red, and he was saying it was just annoying as hell to him, just red, just everywhere. That's how I felt when I turned on and looked at. Well, actually, I watched the DVR of NXT, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is just too damn bright. I can't." But I do have to do one thing, James. Since you gave us a little pinky toe of That's Just Nubian, I gotta give a pinky toe of your intro. All right, just a pinky toe, just a little drop in. You snuck that in there, so I just had to slide that in. And,
well, I had to give context to what I was saying so I could bring it back. So what did he say? What did Barry say?
God,
I expect WWE to sign guys like Lethal. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm
not. That's what I'm saying. I hope he doesn't go, and I hope they don't slip up and try to sign him.
What up? Hey, if it's a one-time thing, like, hey, we just want you to pop it, just like the Rumble with all those, surprise guests that we know about. Just show up, show your face, be in the crowd, whatever, and then that's it. Just a jab, because Vince is always about just that little subtle jab, towards his competition, even though he doesn't want to say they're a competition. Just why not? And from Lethal's standpoint, just to say that I got a check from him, I was on their network. Why not? Because if somebody offer you a bunch of money, to go back during the Zone days, you'd be like, hey man, once you go ahead and just put his David Buster's outfit on, give you 10 grand. Like, do I get to wear the lanyard too?
Because think about this. Think about this, and I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna get off of it after this. Think about this. Lethal goes to Impact, right?
Right.
Gets together with Jonathan Gresham, and they get a match with the Gorillas of Destiny. They're just got joined the rest of the Bullet Club in Impact right now. Could you imagine that match?
Oh yeah, I mean, there's so many things.
Ring of Honor versus New Japan in Impact.
Oh yeah. There's so many places he should be. That's why, like I said, I'm hoping that there's a long game that will make sense at some point. That's all, because thus far Tony Khan hasn't misused somebody of his talent caliber yet. Now there's been some, hiccups here or there, whatever, but at his talent caliber, they haven't been misused yet. So he's the first one that's on the bubble, and we just need to see where it's going to go. But speaking of El Tony and the other Khan, AEW post Rumble. Because every year we always take a look at some of the most important times after WWE has one of their majors and see what the response is. Because AEW is not like it used to be with WCW under Eric Bischoff, where they have to have an immediate answer, immediate pay-per-view, either right before, right after. The Nitro before is going to go over by 20 minutes or do this, whatever. That's not AEW, and that's not how they're playing the game. So they're just having their regular show, but we gauge it as, was the show, for now it's two shows, Dynamite and Rampage, was it impactful enough to go up against a major WWE event like the Royal Rumble? Whatever we feel about the Rumble and how it went down, it's still a juggernaut in comparison when it comes to media, water cooler conversation, everything else. So before you answer that question and your impression of if Dynamite and Rampage and AEW as a whole lived up to it, here's your main matches on Dynamite. It opened with Jon Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta, with at the end of it an appearance by Daniel Bryan. You had Penta and Pac versus the House of Black, Ruby Riott versus Nyla Rose. It's not a match, but I'm calling it a match. Dan Lambert versus Brandy, and MJF in your main event going up against CM Punk with a little bit of help from Wardlow. And this was all in Chicago, so that's why that was extra important, because this gives CM Punk his first L. On Rampage, you had Sammy Guevara versus Isaiah Cassidy for the TNT Championship. Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez in her debut. Ricky Starks, as we talked about, versus Jay Lethal for the FTW. And Adam Cole, baby, versus Evil Uno. So that was the lineup. To me, it wasn't pay-per-view caliber. I mean, CM Punk versus MJF, the build was there for that. But that, in my opinion, was the biggest one. Outside of this Brandy versus Dan Lambert thing, I thought that was an interesting and exciting segment. The Paige Van Zandt thing, her coming down, was okay, just because she had
No. Brandy had the line of the night. Brandy had the line of the night. I popped on that so hard. I don't know why you laughing, even. The only reason we signed you was to get to Josh Alexander.
Yeah, that was, yeah. I'm surprised they went with that.
Oh, but it's the truth, though. That's what made it funny.
It is true.
That's what made it funny.
We talked about that many moons ago. But what was your thoughts? I mean, was it a good rebuttal, or was it? To me, it was outside of maybe those two parts. Like I want
as a follow up to the Rumble. as follow to the Rumble for them being AEW, I would say that it was pretty good. I enjoyed the Nyla Rose Ruby Soho match.
But word is Ruby's mad about how she's booked.
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I mean, she came in as this savior for the women's division over there, and then and she lost the TBS championship match. I mean, she's pretty much there to put people over, and they're not going to put her over past Britt Baker.
Yeah, and
they're not going to put her over past Thunder Rosa.
She's looking real familiar because she's doing the same thing she was doing in WWE.
Pretty much. So I can see where she's kind of upset, but she had to know coming in. You had to look at their roster and say, okay, look at what they're doing with CM Punk and see if they're going to do more with you than they are with CM Punk. Mm-hmm. So that was my whole thing. I would have been surprised if they'd have put the TBS belt on her. A lot of people were saying that they should have, but everybody knows that belt was created especially for Jade Cargill.
Yeah.
So it is what it is for that. Now I'll say that they put up a pretty good lineup post Rumble. I'll say that I'll give them kudos on that. I give them an A minus B plus on that. Right. Now, as far as the WWE is concerned,
SmackDown was exciting.
We're not really going to be able to see too much going on with them until after Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
So, we're pretty much in a state of limbo right now, post Rumble and pre-Elimination Chamber. We're pretty much in limbo right now because, like I said earlier, you got a whole bunch of bullshit matches coming up.
Yeah.
Just as filler.
WWE, they're in that cookie cutter time period where everything is all about the Hollywood style video package. You're gonna have some surprises, some run-ins, some crazy stuff. They're gonna build it up, but my fear always, and I think last year, even though we had COVID and stuff, but AEW didn't have enough steam. They didn't build enough momentum to be able to keep pace. You can throw some stuff up against the wall and try some new things out, and like okay here and okay there, shows. But once we crack the threshold of January, you got to start coming correct, in my opinion, because if you lose pace, WWE will edge you out as they get to WrestleMania because Vince will notice and he's going to cut some checks. Nick Khan is, as the word of the industry between WWE and AEW is lean. Everybody's getting lean. We all know WWE is pretty lean when it comes down to talent right now. So they got some capital to be able to sling some dollars to make something happen, at least for WrestleMania's sake or the Monday after. And I just don't want them because Hangman Adam Page I like him, but what main event do we have with him that you really want to see with Hangman that would go up against WrestleMania? Who would you like to see him wrestle? That would be like, okay, that's the equivalent of their Brock versus Bobby Lashley. Let's just say if it was them at Mania.
But then you got so many people that are bringing him down as champion. You got Jake Roberts, Dan Lambert, Lance Archer. Who else? It's a bunch of them going around saying the same thing. You got this pretend cowboy in his Toy Story Woody Halloween outfit. Going around and calling himself a champion and whatnot. He's only defended the belt how many times, and who against who, whatever, so they're not building up their champion as they should. They're shutting him down thinking it's going to build him up, but it's not working.
Yeah.
It's making him look like a fool, really, and their numbers aren't really reflecting him being a champion or him putting butts in the seats or faces in the screens.
Yeah, because all the numbers are coming from CM Punk.
Right.
and
So
that's just generating ad buys.
and
They
and
might want to
again, and again, just like I was listening to Jim Cornette's podcast, and he was asking the question, how do you have a first match ever against somebody for a world championship and it's a Texas death match? I mean, usually a Texas death match is the last match you
right,
have against
right.
somebody. How do you have a Texas death match as your first match ever against somebody for a world championship?
Yep.
What, what as he likes to say, lazy booking.
Yeah. Because I mean, the build up with Daniel Bryan, I was cool with everything that they were doing. Daniel Bryan was taking him to another level, and it was just payoff after payoff. Now, hindsight being 2020, should Daniel Bryan be the champion? Quite possibly. But Perry mentioned that he thinks Adam Cole would be somebody that could be that top caliber. But my question to you is, Mox is Mox.
I've lost faith in Cole.
Mox is Mox. So I mean, you can give him the belt, you can not give him the belt. You're still going to get the same thing. Even Jim Cornette said that you see the same thing from Mox. Nothing has really changed. It's the same gimmick, period. So my question to you is it time to slide that belt back on Jericho? Does Jericho need to carry it one more time until we get, Mega back or somebody that can really add layers to the defense and the storylines and even at a loss, but still add something to it that's going to elevate it? Or does Jericho need to stay in his supporting role and maybe this? See, it's hard to say forbidden door because let's say if it's Keith Lee that comes in, that's not a forbidden door. He's off his 90-day contract. Let's say if it's Wyndham, he's off of his 90-day non-compete, so it's not a forbidden door. So that's why I'm kind of lost on that part, but that's a whole other thing because those are the people I would want to see debuting. But I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, it's time. I would take this belt off of Page. I wouldn't put it on Jericho. I wouldn't put it on Jericho. Uh,
Would you put it on Cody
no.
just because? Just to, I mean, if you're going to be a heel, be the heel with the
If he
belt.
tur- if he turns full heel, then yes, I'll put it on
Look
it.
at
But in
look
the
at
way that he's look, but in the way what he's doing now, no, no, no. I don't see that. I say go ahead and put it on Lance Archer. I'd like to see the belt on Lance Archer to see what he would do with it. Because think about it, with him, Lambert, and Jake Roberts behind him,
Do you think he would drop Jake and let
no,
Lambert be the
no,
mouthpiece?
no. I mean, no. I would no. They would keep both of them because right now there's supposed to be some kind of deal where Lambert has secured their services.
Yeah,
So you have
but
all of America Top Team and the Men of the Year playing heater for Lance Archer, which he doesn't really need. Is a de facto faction.
right.
I'd like to see what they do with Lance Archer with the belt. As a
Or
matter of fact, I'd like to see Lance Archer take that belt to Japan, have him hook back up with Suzuki Goon, and see what he does over there for a few months with the belt.
possibly, or, and I was saving this for last when I asked that loaded question about who would you like to see have it. Is it time for MJF to get the belt?
As much as I'd like to see him with the belt, I don't know. I'm enjoying him as he is right now without the belt.
But Mike skills wise, I mean, that's the only thing he's missing
But
because
see, here's the
he
thing: he
defeated
doesn't
Punk.
need the belt.
He doesn't need it, but now that he's defeated Punk by hook or by crook, he could go to the next person. Who's next? Pun intended for Goldberg, but the champion.
At this point, yes, you're
But
right.
Where does he go?
But as long as he's got this storyline going with Lance Archer, it's gonna be a minute. So it would depend on who came out of that. If Paige comes out of this storyline with Lance Archer still with the belt, yes, I say MJF needs to go after him. If Lance Archer gets the belt, I say leave MJF as he is.
Yeah, I could go with that. I mean, Cole, I don't think he's ready because I think that the hidden thing is, Cole versus Omega. Because
they're leading up to that. That's what they're going to end up leading up to because the end game is going to be the Undisputed Era versus the Elite.
Right, because the Young Bucks have been rather quiet as of late, so we don't really see them as much. They've got some pieces of the board shifting around. I'm hoping that like I said, there's an end game, there's a game plan in place that will make sense. But I agree with you. We need to see something happen with Hangman that's going to keep him going. It could be a feud with Adam Cole, but putting the belt on Cole, I would rather go to somebody else that Cole could really play off of and promo against, and it would be extremely entertaining because Cole would eat Hangman a lot. Hell, Daniel Bryan destroyed Hangman in the promos, when they were going back and forth. So, Paige, it's maybe time for him to go heel and get his Paul Heyman opportunity with the right mouthpiece and a heater.
Jonathan Gresham, title for title.
Where, Terminus?
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Jonathan Gresham, title for title.
Ends no
Gresham wins and takes the belt back to Ring of Honor.
No, I would have to be a no DQ or a double DQ or something.
No. This brings intrigue into it, right? Gresham wins AEW Championship, takes the belt back to Ring of Honor to start the new Ring of Honor era, and that brings people from AEW over to Ring of Honor to try to get the belt back. So that could include Kenny Omega, that could include Jon Moxley, that could include Adam Cole. Adam Cole has history with Ring of Honor.
Right.
Adam Page has history with Ring of Honor. Kenny Omega has history with Ring of Honor. So you bring all these former Ring of Honor people back to help build up Ring of Honor again and try to get the AEW belt back to AEW.
So you're talking basically a reverse invasion.
Yeah.
I mean, if Tony Khan has the balls to do it, it'd be interesting because it would be, I would say, unprecedented at that level. That basically somebody stole your title, for lack of a better term.
I mean, he's talking about no more. He's talking about no more. He's about to close the forbidden door. I hope he don't close the forbidden door. I hope he doesn't close the forbidden door before he gets the Briscoes up in there against FTR.
That could be it. But he's saying one person, it could be the Swerve at two. That's what I said. It's kind of a interesting situation with that comment because you're talking about it's going to be the forbidden door coming in, but there's too many players that even the Briscoes, they're not really coming from a forbidden door. They're available. You just got to sign them. So I don't know. If nothing else, he's built interest in his program for Thursday. That's by Wednesday. If nothing else. So, kudos to him for that. He just needs to pay off. And if the payoff is whack, then he's going to hear about it because this is all resting on his shoulders. And what he does is going to take either some of the conversation at the water cooler, quote unquote, away from the Elimination Chamber, or it's just going to be like, whatever. And people are going to move on. And speaking of moving on and potential, this main event right here. Ronda v. Charlotte. Excited? Interested? Do you care? Is it what you want to see? Is it who you think she should have? Well, they should have picked for her. I mean, we talked about it last week. We touched on it at least. But what's your feeling?
Well, I prefer Ronda Charlotte versus Ronda Becky. I'm not necessarily that I'm excited about the match, but I mean they did set it up at Rumble,
right?
With them being the last two. So, and again, it is a WrestleMania caliber match. I mean, they do have some unfinished business between each other. There's history there. When Becky beat the two of them in that main event that they had, in that three-way main event that they had.
Correction. Charlotte never lost because she wasn't pinned.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's the angle already. We know it.
Right. So, I can see them doing this. Even though even going back to Roman and Goldberg, they kind of cleaned that up because they were like, well, this was a match that was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 2 years ago, and it didn't happen. So, there's that.
Right.
But as opposed to Becky and Ronda, I would prefer Charlotte and Ronda.
I think
them giving Lita this title match against Becky.
I think that's set up for Bianca.
They're leaving Bianca for WrestleMania. Yeah, Bianca comes out of Elimination Chamber with that shot. So that's the way I'm seeing it. So I just hope they have a good match. I'm just looking forward to a good match from them. We'll see what happens with Ronda because this will be. We're not sure how many matches she's going to have between now and WrestleMania, if any.
Yeah.
I mean, she's already. They had a video out of Ronda Rousey breastfeeding her baby after Rumble, and I thought about y'all. I was like, damn it, she saw the show.
You think you make this stuff up. But shoot, you threw me out. You made me lose my train of thought. God dang it, Bobby. Oh yeah, that's what it was. That was my train of thought. I was gonna say that she was giving kudos to your girl.
Funny face. Yeah.
Which is pretty cool, but also another interesting dig at the WWE subtly from Ember Moon. Like, hey, you want your girl back. You're welcome. Even though y'all cut me, but you're welcome. But I'm
sure Ember Moon got a call from them to try to get back in the Royal Rumble, just like they did with Nia. You saw that? You saw that interview with Renee?
Talking about, I thought y'all was calling to talk about my stuff.
Nia gave them the business for, didn't she? So good. So you're calling me to put me on a list to potentially be in the Royal Rumble? Fuck out of here.
Y'all can talk about semantics all you want. She gave angry black woman properly.
Yes. Yeah.
I was like, go on, girl. You tell them. You tell them. But wouldn't it be interesting if she showed up in AEW? Just saying. I'm just saying. Somebody that will be believable to go up against Jade Cargill. I could see that.
Yeah.
Because at this moment, Jade Cargill is going to be a champion forever. Not a big.
Yeah, I don't see anybody beating her. I don't see anybody beating her for that belt no time soon.
The only person to beat her would be Britt Baker, just to be double champion.
And what would be the purpose in that?
And I missed if Jade would have came in a year and a half ago, it would have been a strong, great storyline for Jade versus Nyla Rose, when Nyla was really running through people, beating the crap out of Riho and everybody else. But now
Yeah.
Nyla's like, you know.
Well, I think they're starting to build her back up. I mean, she did win this week, so.
Yeah, I was shocked. To be honest with you, I thought Ruby was going to win that match. For real.
I'm thinking they're gonna try. I'm thinking they're gonna put Nyla and Jade together in a match for that title. Not that Nyla will win, but I'm saying that'll be a good.
Somebody size wise, and we talked about that before, is that you have to have a balance. That was the number one problem with Nyla. I mean, with Nia. Actually, both of them, Nyla and Nia's number one adversary was not a woman in either promotion. It was the damn ring post. Because once they hit the ring post, everybody got a shot. Until then, they're going to destroy you. But the moment you move out the way, I can win this match. And 9 out of 10, that's how it went down. And that's a doggone shame. That's when you know that you don't have the balance that you need. Because Jade Cargill should not be going up against Red Velvet. I'm sorry. No disrespect to Red Velvet. But when you throw your thrust kick and you're at her face, it's like that's a super kick at that point. You know, you might as well just go ahead and drop the leg drop of doom, call it a day. It's a wrap.
I mean, she's their Mikey Whipwreck right now.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, 100 pounds with a brick in her pocket, and she's winning matches against, or she's actually putting up a fight against a Jade Cargill or a Nyla Rose.
Yeah, it's just,
come on now.
I mean, that's why when they had their last match, I gave strong kudos on the show to Jade, because she was very giving, and you could tell the difference from when she started versus where she was at that match, on how they were able to craft it to be pseudo believable. Pseudo. But still, it's the equivalent, for the most part, of Rey Mysterio versus the Big Show.
Right.
And that's
Red Velvet, Riho. Well, I can't put Sheeta in there because Sheeta's a little bit bigger than both of them.
Yeah.
But most of those Japanese women wrestlers that they put in there, you know, even old girl that was with the Varsity Blondes, Julie Hart.
About that. Julia Hart. Woo! She shouldn't even been in that match either. Like that. Like, why y'all beating up my little sister, man? You know she's 12. That's literally what that was. But I will say this: with Nia gone, the height balance on WWE is pretty much fixed, because everybody at this moment, the lowest one you have is
Red Velvet.
No, on WWE side. It is
WWE side, okay.
So she's the smallest, just under Alexa Bliss. But Alexa Bliss is pretty much balanced at this point with everybody else. Nikki Ash's, the Becky Lynch's, Liv Morgan. You know, she's pretty much balanced. So when she comes back, she can have great matches with that. And then on the higher, taller side, you can have your Charlotte. You can have your
Rhea Ripley.
Oh gosh, the Aussie.
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, Rhea. And Tamina. Those are your I think they're
and Doudrop.
Oh yeah, Doudrop, yeah. Well, dang it. Well, no, because Doudrop's shorter than Nia. She's shorter than Nia.
Yeah, she's shorter, but you know she's got that size advantage.
But ring post nullifies that still, no matter what. We saw that with Becky. The post just shows up one day, just pow, takes you out, and then nothing you can do about it. So I think they actually have a good shot. So I don't know, but I just wanted to get your opinion for the last segment of the show on if you're actually interested thus far, because I know one thing Charlotte's good for, and that's a great promo that they can take snippets out of and make that Hollywood level vignette for WrestleMania. My only hope is that in between breastfeeding sessions, Rhonda is going to promo class so that way we can get different layers out of emotion out of what she's going to say. Because if she comes out and says the same thing the same way for the next what are we 60?
Less than 60.
Yeah, for the
Because it was
next
61. I think it was
days.
61 at the Rumble. So I think,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken.
So the next 50 plus days, either online or whatever she's doing, it's not going to work. It's going to be a good match, but it's not going to work. WrestleMania is all about talking, all about giving them a backstory, a beginning, middle, and an end to be able to produce. So that way, all you got to do is just show up, do your job, and then you're good to go. So, fortunately, we didn't get the big guy back. He's out there still putting that work in career land. But as he mentioned, he will be entertaining everybody with the Sunday Rise, as Washington football team now likes to go commando. So we'll see how that plays out, if it really sticks, if it's something. What would a mascot be? Because
Well, they got these pictures out here of Cobra Commander in their colors.
that'd be dope. I'm not gonna lie to you. For real. If Cobra Commander is their mascot, and
They got Cobra Commander in their colors and whatnot. They got pictures of them right now doing it with that. So I don't think that'll be. I don't know if they can get the copyright on that or the trademark on that, but
Hasbro ain't doing nothing. They can take that rub. Why would you not want to take the rub from the NFL and have a football? Well, remember they had football characters in GI Joe. Was it Gridiron? I think was his name.
I think wasn't Lawrence Taylor part of the GI Joe at one time.
I think so. But yeah, I think he was there. Gridiron, I believe, was the one that had the football. That's how they got LT in it.
Yeah.
I think it was one of those little smaller movies or something. But either way, KG will be talking about that. You got any last words or anything? How you feeling?
Well, since he had a birthday this week, and our floating fourth has been very vocal with us today, in the absence of KG. I'll go ahead and give him a plug tonight. Y'all want to make sure y'all hit up Facebook Live and Twitch and all of your favorite podcasts for my man Perry, my man Rob the Actual, Tico the Gallo, Bishop Omega, and since I ain't said it in a while, I gotta. Hey Keisha, how you doing? No, what you talking about? Hey, I'm over here trying to plug you, and you talking about no? What the hell?
No, that was me. That was me. I knew you were about to. I knew you were gonna go do the Hey Keisha thing, so I remembered him saying nope earlier. So.
Man, don't be setting Perry up like that. I'm trying to give him a plug, man.
I just wanted to build you some quick heat right there.
Man, come on, man.
I knew that would throw you off, but happy belated birthday, Perry, for sure.
Yeah, Tuesday nights.
Straight to tape.
Tuesday nights, 8:00, straight to tape. Make sure you check them out. They've been doing some things with another partner of ours, Joe Biggs, and his front porch discussions. Another schoolmate of ours from the illustrious North Carolina Central University, who's got some big things going on his podcast. Shout out to him and his crew over there at Front Porch Discussions. You can catch them on Thursdays at 6:15 on Facebook Live. And your podcast outlets that they're on, you can check them out too. But check out Perry and the folks over there at Straight to Tape. They've been doing some good things over there, and they started strong for the new year. So give them some props. Check them out.
See, there you go. Hopefully Perry giggled with the slide in there. The look on your face, James, was priceless.
I'm like, no, wait a minute. Come on, Perry. I'm about to say, man. I know Perry ain't doing me like that.
While you sitting there talking, I'm scrolling up like, man, where did he say that? I know it's there. See, that's what happens when you put stuff out there to the internet. It can come back on you.
No, see, come back to haunt you, right? Just like we were talking about.
Man. Oh,
but
man.
as far as we're concerned, again, you can check out all of our podcast outlets, YouTube, Facebook Live.
That's right.
We haven't made the Twitch yet. We're working on it. But yeah, all of our podcast outlets. Check us out. Like, subscribe, comment, post.
Breakdown.
Check us out. Check out Sideline Junkies 24/7 on Facebook. Check out all the different shows Sideline Junkies has. All of our brothers in podcast land over here within the Sideline Junkies podcast network. So check us out. What you talking about?
Sorry, KG, he's not allowed to run anything. He's got a background. I don't know. Hold on, let's see if I can get this out here. That's why we can't let him do anything. I don't think I can.
What?
It's what does it say? Let's spread the fuckery. He's not allowed to be on to do this anymore. Just saying. So, just trying to get it to back us out a little bit smaller, but fortunately, that's why we pay him to handle the boards. Lord knows I'll jack it up. But either way, thank everybody. It's time for the mothership to drop you off and head on out.